We're back for another exciting day of television entertainment, television information, and just plain TV. Hi, everybody. It is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 19th day of June, 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. It's raining tacos all over the studio here today. Good show for you. Lots going on. Busy hour. Going to fill your head full of the information that you need from the weather department. The weather forecast going to be windy. We got two interesting things going on. We still have that red flag warning, and we have a wind advisory. Going to be very windy, especially this afternoon and tonight. That all-important forecast is coming up. But today is garbage day. As soon as Waste Management comes to pick up your can, you might want to get it back onto your property, or it could be your neighbor's garbage can, or even down the block. It's going to be very, very blustery this afternoon. We'll talk about that. Plus, your Wednesday news. We also have sports. Apple Sox looking pretty good now all of a sudden. I like that. The Mariners continue, however, to be the Mariners. We got sports to touch on, including a local person who's moving up and well, my sister got another job, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's a sports story. We'll talk about that. We have the obscure holiday birthdays today in history, and everyone is entitled to my Magnized opinion, a brand new one from Mike that he taped not long ago. And Rob Tidd dropped by yesterday. We pre-recorded our conversation with my good friend Rob. Of course, he's with the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary, and his Rotary Club is participating in the annual Let's Have a Blast Independence Day celebration at Walla Walla Point Park coming up on Independence Day, Thursday, July 4th. We'll talk about that with Rob in the back half of the program on a beautiful and right now calm Wednesday morning. That's going to change. Wind right now west-southwest at about 13 miles an hour, but we can see gusts near 50. Stay close to that forecast. It's very important. Boy, I hope not. If a fire gets going today, it could be not good. Anyway, let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras at a couple of minutes after the hour. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. I was shopping a couple of days ago, and a person who watches this show every morning came up to me and complimented me on the show. I don't know why. In any event, she said she'd really noticed with this camera, this cross camera that we call, that has just a beautiful panoramic view of the Wenatchee Valley. She says it really has shown to me how little land, open land, is left in both the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. It's indicative of how this area has really grown in the last 15, 20 years. There was considerable open space in the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. Of course, the orchards are leaving, and the housing developments are going in. People have discovered our little hamlet, and they're coming here in droves. Nothing you can do about that. And for one reason, it's not a big deal to me. If they like it here, I say come. Beautiful view from our cross camera at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. That's the only camera I know we use each morning. The other three are decided by Megan, who says we're going to pay a visit to a slow dissolve to. I know this. That's not the Waterville camera. It is the, oh, geez, I forgot. What is it, Megan? Oh, it's Root Canyon? Is that what you said? Okay, well, that's my bad. I should know that. We've used it before. It's a beautiful view, though. A stunning view there. That's just incredible. I would love to live up in that area. But boy, you know, you're making dinner and you're going, oh, gee, I need a stick of butter. Well, it's a long way to the grocery store from there. It takes a certain kind of person, a certain mentality to live in that kind of area. That's the trade-off. You get a gorgeous, gorgeous area and lots of privacy and lots of land. On the other hand, you're out in the middle of nowhere. So that's that's the trade-off. Camera 3, where are we off to? We're off to the Jump-Off Ridge. Gorgeous view there, incredible. Stimmill Basin dominating your view there. Can't quite make out the Malaga area or the Three Lakes Golf Course. The East Wenatchee Bench is off to your right. Wenatchee tucked behind Wenatchee Heights, and look at all those cherries just growing away up there. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous view from Jump-Off Ridge. And if you're on the very tip of Jump-Off Ridge and you're looking towards Wenatchee, you go the other direction, and you don't have to drive very far. You can see Ellensburg. Ellensburg, as the crow flies, isn't that far from Wenatchee. It's just no easy way to get there, unless you want to drive the Clockham, which isn't recommended. Camera, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are we off to? Billy Goat. Oh, they still haven't cleaned that lens, have they? We got to get somebody up there and clean that. That looks like that's not going anywhere. We'll get a hold of our friends at Sky-Fi and see if they're willing to drive all the way up to Billy Goat and then climb the tower and take that little blotchy thing off. Outside of that, it's an incredible view. Mount Kalispell, way off in the distance in Canada, and and that camera, as we mentioned before, is about 6,000 feet in elevation. You can make out the Alta Lake Golf Course. You can make out Alta Lake, for that matter, and the lovely town of Pateros and Brewster off in the distance, and that camera is pulled back a little bit. The sun came up, by the way, at 5:04. Sunset 9:01 this evening, 15 hours and 57 minutes. So sunrise is actually a minute later, but sunset is about 90 seconds later as we get closer and closer to the first day of summer. The summer solstice is at 8:54 on Friday morning, the longest day of the year, and then we'll have about 7 to 10 days where the sunrise and the sunset is just about the same, and then the days get shorter. But summer is almost here. It comes up on Friday. All right, we're going to start out the weather forecast with 3 things you need to know about. First of all, the red flag warning continues. There you go. It began yesterday, and it remains in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. They have 3 levels of these kinds of things at the National Weather Service. They have advisories, which means we're keeping a pretty close eye on things, but we think that may develop. Then they have watches, which is a little more serious, in which the case they think, with a watch, they think, we're pretty sure it's going to happen. And a red flag warning is just that. It's a warning. It's the most serious of all of them. Again, strong winds and low relative humidity about 18 to 20%. You combine the winds and you have a red flag warning that's going to stay in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. We're only going to get to 77 degrees, which is actually below normal, so it's not going to be hot, but it's going to be windy. We have a wind advisory. That is in effect. It remains in effect. Again, just like the red flag warning, the wind advisory is going to be around until 9 o'clock this evening. They may extend that, and we are talking very, very gusty winds. Check out this last slide we have for you. You're going to see Wenatchee in red. Look at that. In some of the exposed areas, we're talking the Waterville Plateau, Wenatchee Heights, the East Wenatchee Bench, Fancher Heights, you could see winds up to 55 miles an hour. Now, consistent winds later on this afternoon, right now it's calm, but consistent winds 20 to 30 miles an hour all afternoon into the evening hours. For the Wenatchee Valley, we could see gusts up to 50 miles an hour. And as I mentioned before, on exposed areas and higher benches in and around the Wenatchee area, we could see gusts at 55 miles an hour. The strongest wind gusts will occur from this morning into this evening. Things are going to be windy all day and into the evening hours, but oh my goodness gracious, that's pretty cattywampus. There you go. Red flag warning in effect until 9 o'clock, wind advisory until 9 o'clock. Very strong winds this afternoon. High today of only 77 degrees, so it's going to be below normal. It's not really windy right now, but as this day progresses, it's really going to take off. 54 for the overnight low tonight. By the way, it's 57 outside of our studios. Yesterday at this time it was 70, so it is a cold front. And just like we talked about yesterday, the jet stream is out of position. Normally it's up over British Columbia, then it drops down into the Montanas and the Dakotas, but it is right over the top of Washington State, which means that's why the wind comes through. And then we have low pressure coming down in from Canada, and those two things are combining to make it very, very windy today, tonight, and really spilling into Thursday and even into Thursday night. It's going to be quite windy. Then we calm down Friday. We'll top off at about 80, and then we'll see lots of sunshine and temperatures in the mid-80s on Saturday and Sunday. So the weekend looks fabulous, but it is going to be very, very windy today, tonight, into Thursday, and before it finally dies down on Thursday night. You were warned. It's 9 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break, but before we do, Frank, oh yeah, you want to go ahead and throw that up there, Megan? Yeah, let's go ahead and there's your forecast. Might as well look at it. As I mentioned before, below normal today after a long stretch of above normal temperatures. Yesterday's high was 84 degrees. Our normal high for this time of day would be about 79 or 80. So cool, but very windy today. Cool, but very windy on Thursday. We calm down Friday. Weekend looks fantabulous. Temperatures just about normal. Lots of sunshine. We're not going to be dealing with any real wind at all by the time we get to Friday. There's your forecast from the National Weather Service. It's 10 minutes after the hour. Thanks to Confluence Health for sponsoring this program. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurance Services of North Central Washington, where we like to teach our customers how to shop and compare from all the Medicare options. Now, a lot of folks will come in and tell me, Jim, I'm so confused about all these choices. In fact, there's 21 reasons you can join a Medicare plan. But we want to focus on the specific plan that's right for you. So if that's what you need, give us a call at Senior Insurance, 888-2600, or visit one of our 5 locations.
Quite a bit of sunshine, 58 degrees outside of our studios, although it's fairly calm right now. Very consistent winds, 20 to 30 miles an hour throughout the course of the day today. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we can see the occasional rogue gust of wind at 50 miles an hour, and in exposed areas such as the East Wenatchee Bench, the Waterville Plateau, the Wenatchee Heights area, Stamilt, those kinds of areas, you can see wind gusts above 50 miles an hour, especially this afternoon. And because we have a red flag warning, and because we have a wind advisory, Chelan County Commissioners, well, they've declared the county a high fire hazard area, so they have imposed numerous restrictions on county lands and county roads. Among other things, the designation bans the use of fireworks countywide, prohibits fires of any sort, also banned the operation of any vehicle off the roadway. Travel on designated county roads has been limited to residents as well as landowners and leaseholders to perform work on their property. The commissioners also, by the way, the commissioners took these actions based on the recommendation of the Fire Advisory Board because of the current and forecast conditions. Chelan County PUD commissioners got some good financial news at their Monday board meeting. The bond rating firm Standard & Poor's Global continues to rank the district among the top customer-owned utilities in the nation. The utility's lead treasury analyst, Heather Ireland, said S&P Global called out several extremely strong financial positions, including a debt ratio of 34% and electric rates that are among the lowest in the nation.
You may have noticed in this summary that I repeated the word strong a lot. I actually went back and did a quick count on S&P's report, and they used the specific phrase very strong 14 times to describe various aspects of the district. They used the phrase extremely strong 26 times. That was kind of interesting. It was overall a very, very favorable report, which is reflected in that AA+ rating.
The PUD has cut its debt in half since 2010. Board President Gary Arsenault says the high bond ratings ultimately keep rates low for customer owners.
This is a big deal. There's absolutely no doubt about it. It's a huge deal. As you pointed out earlier, there's a probability that we would be going back to the debt markets at some point in the future. And with this rating, we'll be able to issue debt at a lower rate than, say, some entity with less rating. And that saves all of our ratepayers money, and that's real money.
Chelan PUD also has high bond ratings from Fitch Ratings and Moody's Investor Service. Well, the mother of a shooting victim at Sandy Hook Elementary School back in 2012 spoke in Wenatchee on Monday on school safety advocacy. Our very own Kyle Montgomery filed this report.
School safety advocate and author Alyssa Parker spoke Monday at the Confluence Technology Center on making schools safer. Parker, the mother of Sandy Hook Elementary shooting victim Emily Parker, spoke on safety measures and ideas that can help parents and administrators better understand how to stop shootings around the United States.
So after the shooting happened in Sandy Hook, a group of us parents just got together and we started having these conversations about the lessons that we were learning and the things that we were really beginning to understand that went wrong that day. And we just felt like we wanted to use our experience to help educate others on things that they could do better and ways to elevate the status quo.
Parker also spoke on her organization she helped co-found with fellow Sandy Hook tragedy member Michelle Gay, who lost her daughter as well. The organization works to support school crisis prevention, response, and recovery while aiding schools and students.
And so we came together and we created this nonprofit organization, Safe and Sound Schools. And our goal is to really provide evidence-based research that bridges the gap between what resources are available that are good and solid and making them accessible to schools, and how do we provide those things for them. And so really it's to provide those resources and to make sure that schools are safe across the country.
Despite a heavy debate around the country regarding gun control and restrictions, Parker says her organization wants everyone to agree on what they can do and focus on the things that they actually can fix.
Well, so our organization has really kind of stayed out of the gun debates. We haven't really taken any stance or any positions on that. We feel like what we do is very separated from that debate, and we want everyone at the table. We want everyone to agree upon what they can do, and so we really focus our energy on those things.
Parker also has 2 younger daughters in middle school, Madeline and Samantha. She discussed the difficulties of having 2 young children still going through the school system even after the Sandy Hook tragedy.
So, after the shooting happened, and we've seen so many shootings happen afterwards, and it's really difficult. Whenever I see that, it really brings me back to that day and what feelings I had and the emotions that I went through. And it's always tough, and it's a difficult thing to know that you can't eliminate something completely, but what you can do and what you have control over are the things that I try and focus on.
Parker says that her goal in life between being an author, public speaker, and organization member is to put herself out of a job by helping make schools safer and keeping kids around the country out of harm.
That we don't have to do this anymore, that what we are doing is sufficient enough to take the target off of schools' backs, and that we'll be able to make sure that our kids are safe, and we don't have to. We have a well-oiled machine, and we can continue this work, and our kids can go to school and not have to fear for their safety.
Even after tragedy, Alyssa Parker has found a way to put her voice and life experiences to a cause that benefits more than just herself and will continue to benefit school safety nationwide.
Thank you very much, Kyle. We appreciate it. Retired Wenatchee School District Superintendent Brian Flona says he's leaving the district in a much better financial condition. In fact, he says it's a lot better position now than it was when he took the helm.
I came in here in 2000 and we had $1.5 million in our reserve, and we were considered on the watch list. So I had to make some budget decisions when I first got in and build the reserve back up. And so we were able to actually, over time, build it up to 20%, which was huge. And now it's going back down. But, in 2008, we had the same problem with when the economy sank, and we had to cut over $3 million, and we were able to do it without doing a reduction in force with staff. And then this is kind of a similar situation with the McCleary and then the levy swap and all of that, and our enrollment dropping at the same time. So we had a real challenge because we had dropping enrollment and we had this levy shift. And so we had, we'll get through it. We had to cut about $4 million, a little over $4 million, and we did it, in the same manner that we did it in 2008. And our reserve is right now about 9%. So I think, we got another year to work through this, but it'll work itself back out and we'll get back on shape. But we've never really been had a financial problem, for the last 17, 18 years. So I'm proud of that.
The Wenatchee School Board is currently considering using voter-approved levy funds to restore some of the staff cuts staff positions that were cut during the current budget procedure. Legislature for the last session raised that local levy cap from $1.50 to $2.50 for every $1,000 of assessed valuation. So the cap is part of a levy swap. It limits local taxes and increases state school taxes. It's all part of the state's response to a court mandate to fund basic education. Finally this morning, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, you will want to be tuning in right here to this very channel. We're going to air a special. It's called Saving Rihanna. It's an hour-long show. It's commercial-free. It features the heroes who helped save the life of 6-year-old Rihanna Rosenberg, who fell into that icy Rock Island pond this past February. And here's a little snippet of what you can be able to see tomorrow night.
We got the call. My swim gear is right behind me. My driver looked at me and said, "Hey, Billy, where do you want your rescue gear? Your swim gear that morning." And I said, "I'll just take it in the back seat," and that's not normal. I knew Jacob was getting dressed. I was getting dressed en route. You're planning this stuff through your mind. You're actually playing it through your mind. Like, what are we going into?
12, Chelan County has no ICE certified divers. They're checking for outside help.
Once I got on scene and got to that bank, I knew that I was going to go in the water, and I just took on that responsibility. Either I was getting in the water or I was going to be some sort of support. You don't ever know until you actually show up and visually see. Now we've got to react. You know, as soon as I got out of the vehicle, I had almost immediate sight of what I thought was her. You can see that I run down the bank, and the whole time I'm looking out into the water, and what I saw was a small hood, looked like a cone, and it in fact was her hood floating on the water.
That's the first question in any water rescue, like last known, like where's our starting point? And that jacket being that pivotal starting point, that was huge.
We ran into one of the, I believe it's sheriffs, at the shoreline, and he was our initial point of contact at the shore, giving us, his best account for what he believed was the last point seen, and then that was essentially established at that point where we were going in.
Again, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock right here on the NCW Life Channel, Saving Rihanna, and it will air in its hour entirety commercial free. This show isn't commercial free. I got bills to pay. Neither is our news, but you can check out the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock every weeknight, 5, 6, and 10. The news with Grant Olson. Grant also handles the weather forecast, and he'll have more on this very strong winds and that red flag advisory when he does the news. Again, at 5, 6, and 10, Eric Granstrom handles sports. Again, the news at 5, 6, and 10 right here. It's also available on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com, and our website is one of the many tools you can use to get a hold of us. Go to ncwlife.com, click on the Connect Us or Contact Us icon, and that's one way to do it. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page. Be sure to like us while you're hanging around there. You can send us an email, news at ncwlife.com. We have a Twitter handle. We have a song in our heart. It's Raining Tacos. Get a hold of us. This is as much your station as it is ours. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, a brand new Everyone is Entitled to Mike Magnotti's Opinion, and my good friend Rob Tidd from Wenatchee Confluence Rotary will be dropping by. Good stuff between now and 8 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. He's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs. We're back at it 24 minutes after the hour. If you're just joining us, we're in for a very windy day today. Consistent winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. We could see gusts right around the 50-mile-an-hour mark later on this afternoon and into the evening hours. We have a red flag warning until 9 o'clock tonight and a wind advisory until 9 o'clock tonight. Here's what's making news in the world of sports. Wenatchee's B.J. Kuntz is leaving the Wenatchee School District to take a job as assistant director of the WIAA. Kuntz said she heard a few months ago that a position was opening up.
I have heard a long time ago that there was a possibility that John Miller was going to retire at the end of this school year, but nothing official. And then as it got closer and closer to, the end of May, I heard that John had retired, and so I was very excited to consider the opportunity. This has been an organization I've worked with and been around for a long time.
Kuntz has worked at Wenatchee High School since 1996. She was a teacher, a volleyball coach, eventually athletic director, and most recently dean of students. She says she knew very early on in life what she wanted to do.
You know, it sounds silly, but it really does go back to when I was at Orchard Middle School. I had a teacher and a coach, and I thought, wow, I want to do that. I really want to do that. And so I really began that journey of saying I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. And then I came up to Wenatchee High School as a student, and I was a TA for Bob Eller, the athletic director at the time. And I was very fortunate that Bob asked me to be a student representative on a committee that he was running here at Wenatchee High School. And I dove all in, and after TAing for him 2 years and being actively involved helping him with B basketball, I walked away with, I think I'd like to be an athletic director. So when I left Wenatchee High School as a 17, 18-year-old kid and went on to Gonzaga, I knew deep down in that I wanted to be a teacher and a coach, and I knew I wanted to be an athletic director.
Kuntz says she's busy wrapping up her job of Dean of Students at Wenatchee High School. She'll join the WIAA in late July. Our good friend Eric Granstrom spent about an hour with my sister a couple of days ago for an extensive interview. We'll have more with BJ tonight on the NCW Life Evening News at 5, 6, and 10. Ryan Long was really good Tuesday night. He struck out 9 lefties over 7 scoreless innings, and the Wenatchee Apple Sox beat Port Angeles. The final was 7-3. Long is 6 foot 6 inches tall. He weighs 180 pounds. He's a sophomore at Pomona Pitzer College. He hit the first batter of the game, and he settled right down, struck out at least one hitter over each of his 7 innings. Offensively, Cole McKenzie knocked the ball around the park with 3 hits and 5 plate appearances. He scored 3 times. Quinn Ayers and Hunter Montgomery also collected a couple of hits. Wenatchee had 13 hits on the night. Wenatchee's first road win of the season. The Apple Sox improved to 5-8. The Lefties fall to 6-7. Game 2 tonight, 6:35. Heinrich Reinterson goes against Dwayne Engelbrandt. Also in the West Coast League last night, let's take a look at the Les Schwab scoreboard. Dusty Garcia 2 for 4, including a 2-run home run. Ridgefield beats Cowlitz 12-4. The Raptors collected 19 hits in the game, with 3 each by Aaron Zavala and Grayson Sterling. Andy Atwood 3 for 5 RBIs. He led Corvallis to a 14-5 win over Bellingham. Patrick Caulifield's 3-run home run in the 5th inning was the difference. Walla Walla topped Portland 3-2. Nick Nygaard and Gage Walla combined in a 5-hit shutout of Yakima Valley in Kelowna's 3-0 victory on Tuesday. The Falcons managed only 4 hits in the game, but they scored each of the final 3 in the final 3 innings for the victory. And Victoria feasted on Ben pitching, 21 hits, a 17-7 win at Royal Athletic Park. Frankie Nyman led the attack. He went 5 for 5, 2 runs, 4 RBIs. The Harbor Cats improved to 8-5. Let's take a look at the standings in the West Coast League. There you go. Bellingham and Victoria, they're now tied for first place at 8-5. Yakima Valley, third place, 6-6. Port Angeles is at 6-7. And there's the Apple Sox, 3 games out of first place. Kelowna last at 3-8. Whit Merrifield hit a 3-run home run in the 4th and a 2-run bomb in the 8th. He had 6 RBIs. Unfortunately, Mr. Merrifield plays for Kansas City. Royals bomb Seattle 9-0. On the mound, Homer Bailey pitched 7 2/3 innings of no runs, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts. He earned the victory. Seattle held to just 6 hits in the game. UC Kikuchi continuing his struggles. He went 5 innings. He allowed 6 runs, 9 hits, including 2 home runs. His record is now 3-5 on the season. 2 teams play the rubber match of their 3-game set this afternoon. 3:40. Marco Gonzalez goes against Brad Keller of the Royals. To the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard. Tyler Skaggs worked 7 1/3 innings of 1-run, 3-hit ball to lead the Angels past Toronto 3-1. Cole Calhoun and Brian Goodwin each had solo home runs for LA. The Halos improved to 37-37 on the season. Cincinnati scored 3 runs in the first inning off Justin Verlander, held on to beat Houston 3-2. By the way, all 3 red runs were solo home runs off Mr. Verlander, whose record fell to 9-3 on the season. Jake Bowers 3 for 5 with a home run. He led Cleveland past Texas 10-3. And Ramon Loreno went 4 for 5, including a 3-run home run. Oakland exploded for 16 runs on 15 hits. They pounded Baltimore 16-2. The Athletics had 6 home runs on the day. Everybody is hitting home runs in Major League Baseball. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday. It's the bottom of the hour. It is the 19th day of June. The obscure holiday of the day today is World Sauntering Day. Some people walk with a purpose. Megan, the producer of the show, she walks with a purpose. When she walks, she's going somewhere. She's got things to do. I'm more of a saunterer. When I walk, I'm more of a leisurely walker. It's kind of, I guess it's just the way I am. I'm not in a big hurry when I walk. So take a stroll, take a lazy stroll in the park. Sit down on the bench every once in a while, do a little people watching. Read a book, drink a cup of coffee. Just kind of slow down. Just get away from the daily grind. Go out and take a walk, but don't take a hike. Saunter. Today is World Sauntering Day. It's always held on June 19th, of course, because it was on the internet. Let's do today in history. It's all firsts. 3 things that happened for the very first time on this date. June 19th, 1846. Happy birthday to baseball, my favorite team sport. 173 years ago today, the very first officially recorded organized baseball game took place in Hoboken, New Jersey. Alexander Cartwright's rules, which are still, for the most part, in use today. The New York Baseball Club defeated the Knickerbockers 23-1. And even though Alexander Cartwright was a member of the Knickerbockers for this particular game, he was the umpire. The very first organized baseball game took place in New Jersey 173 years ago today. The very first Father's Day was celebrated on this date 109 years ago today, June 19th, 1910, in, of all places, Spokane. Yep, Spokane, Washington. They get the honor of hosting the very first Father's Day. Sonoa Smart Dodd. It was her idea. Her dad was a Civil War veteran. He had 6 children. He was a widower. His wife passed away after the 6th child was born, so he raised all 6 children by himself. His name was William Jackson Smart. His daughter Sonoa thought, we need to do something for Dad, so let's celebrate a Father's Day. And it took off from there. The very first Father's Day that's the celebration that was held in Spokane on this date in 1910. And happy 70th birthday to NASCAR. The very first NASCAR-sanctioned race ever was held at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, not the same Charlotte Motor Speedway that's there today. June 19th, 1949, 70 years ago today. The winner was Jim Roper, won the very first NASCAR race, and wouldn't you know it, there was some cheating going on. The only reason that Jim won the race is that the guy who won the race, Glenn Dunaway, was disqualified after it was discovered that he had altered his shock absorbers. They were cheating even then, 70 years ago today. Finally, let's do some birthdays. Mo Howard, there you go, the de facto leader of the Three Stooges, was born to this date in 1895, died in 1975 at the age of 77. You see my little, this is Curly. Curly is the last one of these I have left. My brother bought these for me for Christmas 30 years ago. I had Larry, Mo, and Curly. Larry and Mo got eaten by one of my dogs, but Curly survived. Mo Howard, leader of the Three Stooges. I wonder what that must be like. And the leader of the Three Stooges, how proud his parents must be, was born in the state in 1897. Also on my desk today, Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig, my favorite. Born in the state in 1903, of course, died at the age of 37 of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, the greatest first baseman of all time. In 1934, he won Major League Baseball's Triple Crown and finished 5th in the voting for MVP. How could that possibly happen? Leading the league in home runs, RBIs, and batting average, and yet he finished 5th in the MVP voting. There have been 590 uniforms retired, uniform numbers retired in North American professional sports between baseball, football, hockey, basketball, what have you. 590 uniform numbers have been retired. The first athlete ever to have his uniform retired was Lou Gehrig, who was born in the state in 1903. And happy birthday to Macklemore. Macklemore, the American rapper. His real name is Benjamin Hammond Haggerty. Everybody knows him as Macklemore. He's 35, and somebody should probably tell him. And our very own Uriah Darby, who works here. We love Uriah. He's my desk mate. He sits right next to me. Uriah Darby celebrates a birthday today. We can't show his photo on television because he refused to sign the release form. Happy birthday, Uriah. We're going to take a break. A brand new Mike Magnotti opinion. Serious subject today is coming your way. And then my conversation with Mr. Rob Tidd of Wenatchee Confluence Rotary. We're talking 4th of July with Rob. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, recently, our state legislature did something very worthwhile. Hooray! You know, they passed a bill that ended the statute of limitations against sex crimes against children. Now, somebody who suffers from child sexual assault bears those scars for years. And a vast majority of the time, the abuser is someone with authority, which makes it difficult for the abused child to reconcile, which is often why disclosure in these cases may not come for many years after the crime occurs. Now, those who abuse children should face the possibility of disclosure and prosecution for as long as it takes the victim to appropriately deal with what's happened to them. Good work, Washington lawmakers. Good work for this. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock Seal Coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service, and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Break out the shorts and sunglasses. Summer is here. So, moms and dads, what have you planned for the kids this summer? Registration is now open to sign up online using our new RAC app or by calling the club. Our team of professionals have multi-sport camps, swim and tennis lessons, swim team, and much more packed into our summer schedule. I'm Emma, RAC membership coordinator, and we've got you covered with our full lineup of family fun. Special summer memberships are on sale now. More details at wrac.org or call 662-3544. The RAC, where we play every day.
And we are back. On July 4th, the United States of America turns 243 years old. And as they have for the last few years, they're going to have themselves a little party at Walla Walla Point Park. And by a little party, I mean a big gathering. It's the Let's Have a Blast celebration back again this year, and part of the organizing committee from the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary. I still want to say North Rotary, Rob, and I apologize for that. It's been that way for so long, but I know you changed your name. Rob Titt is my guest from the Wenatchee Confluence Rotary Club. I got that correct, right?
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
You're a first timer on the show, so give us a little, talk about Rob just a little bit. Tell the folks about yourself.
Well, my wife and I moved here to the Valley about 11 years ago, and my wife is a native Californian and just loves it here. I went to high school in Waterville, and for me it was like coming home. We love it. And there's no better place to live than in the Wenatchee Valley.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And you know why? It's the people. It's the people that make this valley. Yes, it's physically beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, but if you don't have decent people, then you don't really have a community, do you?
That is correct.
Yeah. Rod is heavily involved in the Confluence Rotary. They're going to be taking part in all kinds of different activities at the Let's Have a Blast celebration on Thursday the 4th. But before we get into that, how's your organization going, Confluence Rotary, from a membership standpoint, from people involved, all that good stuff?
Well, we've been very fortunate. Wenatchee Confluence started with 43 members last July 1st, and we've grown to be 66 members, and we're going to continue to grow. I think having fun things, making friends, emphasizing the things that we do in our Rotary Club really has an impact on people joining the club.
Why the name change, by the way? That was a head scratcher for a lot of people.
I think it was time for a new beginning. We had done the sports awards for 47 years. It seemed like it was time to turn over a new leaf, and Confluence just seemed like the appropriate name.
It is the appropriate name. And the Wenatchee Valley really has, all the service organizations thrive here, but they could always use fresh blood, new blood. That's really the key for the Lions and the Exchanges and the Rotaries and all those other great service organizations to keep going and keep thriving, is to bring in new, young, professional type people who want to pay it forward and keep things going. That's the key, right?
That is the key. And if you don't make it fun and you don't give people an opportunity to give back, then they're not going to join. And those are the two things that we stress the most.
And he keeps saying fun, because it is fun to be in a service organization. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, you get to meet new people and all kinds of cool things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like the 4th of July event.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the chamber reaching out to our club and asking us to do this beer garden, we wouldn't be doing it. And people enjoy it, and we certainly enjoy running it.
So let's go through all the things that Rod and his group are going to be in charge of on the 4th of July at Walla Walla Point Park. You mentioned the beer garden. It made its debut, I believe, last year. Is that correct?
Last year was the first year. I don't think a lot of people knew about it because it was brand new. The Chelan PUD said, why don't you come back and do it again this year? And not only are we going to have beer, but we're going to have wine. We're going to have beers from all 4 breweries. And we're also going to have a couple of ciders as well.
Okay. And it's going to be, if you're familiar with Walla Walla Point Park, the layout, it's going to be in the tennis court area, which has a chain link fence around it because that's part of the Washington State Liquor Control Board. You have to have limited access in and out, but there's also going to be things for the kids to do as well in the same area.
There will be on the other side, and so if the parents want to have an adult beverage, then the kids are right there within eyesight, and we'll have a number of games for them to play.
Any problems getting the breweries on board? Because a lot of people just want to have fun on the 4th of July, not necessarily work, but...
Yeah, no, the breweries were well behind it. They're going to bring 2 of their favorite beers, each one, so we'll have a selection of 8 different beers, which I think is really neat. And the other thing that we didn't see last year were apple pies and hot dogs, and that just felt un-American to us. And so we are going to have a hot dog stand. We're going to have an apple pie eating contest. So in addition, we're for the first year, we're going to do a volleyball tournament.
Yeah, talk about that. That's kind of a cool thing.
It really is. And so we're going to do a co-ed volleyball tournament. It's headed up by Andrea Johnson, who owns the gym. And she is going to set a schedule from 10 to 4, and there'll be up to 10 teams playing. And it's, again, going to be an adult co-ed tournament. And we're excited about the possibilities that this may jumpstart it for years to come.
Full on 6-on-6. I believe volleyball is 6-on-6. Is that right, or is it 3-on-3?
No, it's going to be a full team.
Okay.
It'll be 6-on-6, and so we have information on our Facebook that indicates what the rules are, the makeup of the teams, and there is an entry fee because there are going to be cash awards and prizes.
Speaking of cash awards and prizes, if you're going to have an apple pie eating contest, people aren't going to sign up for that unless there's something on the other side, right?
I think eating some pretty good pie is probably going to be the biggest reward. It's just something that we want to provide so that there's something for everybody. And we think from kids all the way up to the adults, this is just one of those things that it just seems like it's American, and that's why we wanted to include it.
Is it eating the most amount of pie in a certain amount of time, or is it you can't use utensils or anything like that? How's that work?
Yeah, pretty much. Your hands are behind your back, and we haven't figured out the size of the pies yet, but yes, it's a race to the finish.
Is everybody in your organization at Confluence Rotary involved in this? Everybody's going to be there helping out one way or the other?
If they're in town, it's all hands-on, and it's this is the way we make money for our club so that we can continue the good works that our club is doing. So everybody knows they have to be involved in some aspect or another.
And I love the fact that you got to have hot dogs and apple pie on the 4th of July. You just have to.
That's true. And I mean, we're not just talking regular hot dogs. We're talking gourmet hot dogs. Dominic Bonney in our club really is quite the chef, and he can do some amazing things with hot dogs. So come on out and have a gourmet hot dog.
As far as the apple pie eating contest, is that something you just show up and you sign up and you're in, or anything like that? How does that work?
I think we'll do sign-ups when people show up. We'll probably have a teen event, and then we'll have an adult event. And so it'll be 2 different categories. We'll probably have 5 or 6 in each category.
So beer garden, back again for the first time, hot dogs and apple pie, because you got to have that. What else is going on that your group is involved in?
Yeah, obviously the volleyball tournament,
right.
The games for kids, and just helping out the Chamber of Commerce with whatever needs they need. We've offered up volunteers to help just for anything that they might need it during that day.
What kind of games for kids do you have planned?
We're going to do cornhole. We'll have some other, and I don't know what all the games are because we have somebody that's handling that, but I do know that cornhole would be one of them. And I mean, these are games that are safe, so we're not going to have anything that may cause a parent to be concerned.
Obviously, and it's going to be very well supervised and all that good stuff. It should be pointed out that the Walla Walla Point Park is a perfect location for all of this stuff. It's lots of parking at Lowe's and at the Lowe's after 6 o'clock. By the way, don't park at Lowe's before 6 o'clock. There'll be lots of parking at the Town Toyota Center, but then it's so spread out and so beautiful. You got the lagoon, you got the PUD does a tremendous job maintaining that area. It's just it's like it was made for these kinds of get-togethers, isn't it?
That's true, and it's both people and pet friendly. However, I do understand that after 3 o'clock, dogs will not be allowed into the park that day. But up until that time, yes, bring your pets and enjoy the park.
And there's two reasons for that. Well, the first time they did the Let's Have a Blast thing a couple of years ago, pets got away with the fireworks. You know, the fireworks go off and it just freaks dogs out, and even a dog heavily well leashed would just not. And they just don't do well with these things. It just makes sense. So that was a good move on the PUD's part.
Yeah, I
think.
agree.
And of course, there's all kinds of other things. A different Rotary Club is handling the parking again, right, this year?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But it's all Rotary.
Yeah, it's all. So, but they don't have a rivalry. There's no real rivalry between these guys.
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, we work together with them on a number of different fundraisers and events, and so it's the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary Club that's handling the parking. I should also mention the times that we're doing the beer garden.
Please.
So this year, we were allowed to start the beer garden at 4 o'clock and go until 9:30, which is a half an hour before the fireworks start. The volleyball tournament is going to start at 10 a.m. and it will end at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And the pie eating contest, I believe, is scheduled for 7 o'clock on the stage. And the kids' games, that's all day long.
All day long. If you put together a volleyball team and you're one of the 10 that sign up, because it's 10 people, you're guaranteed a certain amount of games, right? Because it is a tournament.
Yes, absolutely.
So.
And obviously, if we start at 10 o'clock and it ends at 4, we'll have plenty enough time to get everybody's games in and have a winner.
And first prize, by the way, is $10,000. I'm kidding. It's not $10,000. First prize is everybody having a good time. Is what first prize is. Did we get everything covered? I keep thinking we're going to forget something.
No, I think that covers everything that's going to happen that day. I just hope that everybody comes out and has a good time, because there's a lot that's going to be going on. And of course, we can't forget the fireworks. I mean, that's the main reason we're doing this. And part of the funds that our Rotary Club raises on that day will go back into the coffers for the fireworks next year.
It should be pointed out that the fireworks will begin at about 10 o'clock. It has to be dark enough. It can't be dusk. It has to be dark. And they still have to turn off the lights at the ball fields as well. They have to do that manually. We will have the fireworks, if you can't make it down to Walla Walla Point Park, and that's where you want to be. If you've never seen a fireworks show from where they actually fire them off at, you're missing out. I mean, the concussions and the music, and of course the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra will be there playing live to accompany the fireworks with a professional sound system and everything. If you've never actually been where it's at with the concussions, and you're right there, you can look at it from a deck from your view house, but you're much better off being at Walla Walla Point Park.
That's true.
Who's kidding who?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. A couple of things you need to remember. Parking in the park itself is going to be restricted just to the people who are working and putting this whole thing together. Plus, of course, the orchestra has to get in and out. So unlike years past, you can't be parking actually at Walla Walla Point Park. You'll have to park down the street, or they'll have paid parking at the Town Toyota Center right across the street, and it's well worth it. Traffic will be controlled by the city of Wenatchee. They actually make it much easier to get in and out than it's ever been before, so don't worry about sitting in your car a long time. And it's just going to be fun. How do people get involved in any of this stuff? Be it a volleyball team, or I want to be in the apple pie eating contest, or whatever. What do they do?
Well, the best way is to go on Facebook. And if you go to Wenatchee Confluence Rotary, you'll find the information to sign up for all of these various events. And we also have, you can go to WenatcheeConfluenceRotary.org. And, that's Wenatchee.
They'll find it.
They'll find it. It's .com.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's a number of ways.
Where do you guys meet, by the way, if people want to join up with your Rotary organization, your time and place?
We meet at the Town Toyota Center.
There you go.
Because we are a sports-related Rotary Club.
In the Crunch Pack room?
No, we actually
you're
meet
upstairs.
Up in
That's
the
right, you're
VIP
upstairs.
room.
Yeah.
And we meet Wednesdays at noon.
Okay.
And please, if you're interested, reach out to any Rotarian in the Valley, and there you can find us pretty much everywhere. So
it's good to see you. Come by and see me anytime you want, all right?
I'll do that.
And I'll see you on the 4th of July.
Sounds great, Dan.
Absolutely. And we will be broadcasting the fireworks, by the way, right here on the NCW Live channel, right around 10 o'clock on Independence Day. Our cameras will be where we have been for the last couple of years, on the roof of the Town Toyota Center right across the street, so we can shoot right about the same altitude as the fireworks themselves explode. And we will be taking the feed from Coho Radio, our friends at Coho Radio, who's going to be playing the music as it's performed live by the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra over the radio, and we'll have that so you can enjoy it that way if you can't make it down to the park. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
It's good to see you.
Thanks, Dan.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Corey here from Rose Tractor, your local Cub Cadet dealer. We've got the all-new Cub Cadet Ultima zero-turn mowers in stock, and they are awesome. The Ultima is like no other zero-turn you've seen. With a box tube frame and available Kawasaki engine, it has unmatched strength and performance, cutting up to 50% faster than lawn tractors. You have to see the Cub Cadet Ultima to believe it. Come on down and experience the Cub Cadet Ultima today.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Mary Maids.
There was a time when you had to travel a great distance to enjoy premium wine and food pairings. Now you can experience it right here in North Central Washington. Surround yourself with the beauty and romance of the Lake Chelan Valley and enjoy some of the finest winery restaurants in the world. Get your taste of adventure at Siren Song Vineyard Estate and Winery, Wapato Point Cellars Winemaker's Grill, or Sorrento's at Chelan Cellars. All three have their own style and unique charm. Now you're less than an hour from excellence.
I guess to be the biggest surprise out of all of it was that it was actually caught on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Something this remarkable just took place and it was caught on video. You hardly ever see that kind of stuff, how it plays out. You know, it's just remarkable to watch.
About ready to wrap up this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's end this show where we began with the weather forecast. And first of all, we want to mention this once again, that red flag warning, which went into effect yesterday. It is still in effect and will remain in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Red flag warning means, excuse me, it means strong winds and low relative humidity. So if there's a new fire out there, it is going to just take right off. As you can see, that red flag warning takes up a large swath of land all over eastern Washington. That is in effect until 9 o'clock today. We have a wind advisory. That is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Winds west 20 to 30 miles an hour. This is not good. We can see gusts up to 50 miles an hour, and even stronger than that, 55 miles an hour is possible for the Waterville Plateau and the areas surrounding the Wenatchee Valley, especially on those exposed ridges, say the East Wenatchee Bench or the Wenatchee Heights. In fact, we have another slide to show you on wind speeds. Look at that. That red area there, that's not good. Ellensburg could even see winds at 60 miles an hour. But we're going to see the occasional gust around 50. For the most part, the winds will be out of the west about 20 to 30 miles an hour. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. It's going to start building up in intensity this morning. By this afternoon, very windy. And this windy conditions are going to go right in through sunset tonight, but eventually it will die down from a pretty consistent wind about 20 to 25 miles an hour to again, gusts above 50. It's going to calm down a little bit, but not much tonight, and then still some residual wind on Thursday. Let's take a look at where we're at temperature-wise. As you can see, lots of sunshine. That's not going to be the issue at all. But boy, is it going to be windy, and that high today of only 77 degrees is considerably cooler than what we had yesterday at 84 degrees. That 77 degrees is actually below normal. And again, very windy today, very windy this afternoon, windy into the evening hours. It's going to be windy again on Thursday. Consistent wind about 15 to 20 miles an hour northwest, gusts around 30 possible on Thursday night. Still some wind possible, breezy, a few clouds. We'll get down to about 55. Then we calm down and warm back up, 80 degrees on Friday, and even warmer still on the weekend. Provided the show wasn't canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.